RFD Radio Network's DeLoss Yankee connects rural routes for you. DeLoss delivers essential farm and food-related news to our listeners. His witty voice has been heard on the air for more than 2 decades. Here's a bit about his rural roots.
Growing up on a farm prepared me for my career. I try to know a little about a lot of things and let the people I interview be the experts. I've always wanted to be on the radio. I'm just happy to do what I enjoy.
Be it routes or roots, RFD Radio, FarmWeekNow.com, and Farm Week keep you connected.
As you prepare for planting season, remember your neighbors. Whether you're an applicator, grower, or beekeeper, use FieldWatch to register your farm and monitor for sensitive sites around you. FieldWatch is a free, easy-to-use online mapping tool. Consulting FieldWatch is now a requirement for the over-the-top use dicamba products. Communicating with your neighbors will help you protect your farm and the environment. Don't wait. Go online to fieldwatch.com. Growing agriculture, we grow best together.
You're listening to RFD Town & Country Partners, connecting you with the food you eat, the Illinois farmers who grow it, and the food-related events, destinations, and lifestyles that make our state great.
Welcome to RFD Town & Country Partners on a Friday. I'm DeLoss Yankee. We'll head to the U of I Extension Unit, Champaign, Ford, Iroquois, and Vermilion counties. Kathy Sweedler is joining us. Kathy, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. We're going to talk about, this is pretty important stuff as well, and it turns out to be one of those things that, you can put off for a long time, in fact, to the point where it, can be to your own detriment. But talking about financial professionals, there are many, and we hear about many, but actually choosing one can sometimes be a pretty tough, a tough final decision to make.
I think that's true. I think, we all tend to worry about, will this person have the expertise we need? Can we trust them? How do you really go about finding a financial professional?
And this is something, it's not like you say, I'll worry about that when it's close to retirement. I mean, that can be a strategy, but that may not be the only strategy to use.
That's a good point. So, really, if you want somebody's expertise to help you get ready for retirement, you don't want to start a few weeks before you want to retire. You need time to really get things in place, see what else you need to do so that you can, retire successfully and securely. And then sometimes we choose financial professionals to help us with things that aren't retirement related as well, like maybe people use tax accountants to help them file their taxes or other scenarios like that.
Mm-hmm. And, could be, we could have a kid ready for college in 2 years or 12 years. Those things are out there as well. In fact, on University of Illinois Extension's website, there is a piece here called Choosing a Financial Professional. Is that through your unit, or is that through the whole state, or, where would I find that?
Okay, so I did just recently write a blog post about it, but I think maybe what you're looking at is our University of Illinois Extension's website, Choosing a Financial Professional.
Uh-huh.
And that was created a few years ago by myself and another educator at the time, Karen Chan. So it's a statewide website that, of course, anybody can use anywhere. And there we talk about, some of the questions you want to ask yourself about what do you need, what services are you really looking for before you start seeking a financial professional. And then one of our main points is that it's really important to go out and interview at least 2 or 3 people before you make your choice. Because even if it's the perfect financial professional for, your Aunt Frances, it may not be the perfect match for you. So you want to find somebody that really matches you in terms of expertise and communication style and all those different things.
Wow, recommendations are important, but at the same time, situations aren't the same. And so, that expert may not be best suited for my needs compared to a neighbor's needs or a relative's needs. That's an interesting thing to keep in mind there. So, because it's so important, it wouldn't hurt to talk to 2 or 3 people and, before you make a final decision about that sort of thing.
I highly recommend it. I think we have a lot of people out there that have, good credentials and are good people, but you want somebody that you feel comfortable asking questions to, because I really think it's important that you understand what's happening with your finances, even if you have somebody else giving you suggestions and helping manage it. You want to understand it. And so you want to be able to talk to somebody and feel like you understand their answers. And if you don't quite understand the answers, that you feel comfortable saying, can you say that in a different way, or can you explain that again? And that you can have that back and forth with somebody. If it's somebody where you're not feeling like you're getting the full answer or you're not understanding it, then it's probably not a good match for you.
Right. Well, so many things we buy with emotion and we justify with logic. And if we don't understand quite what's going on, that's emotionally, we're probably not going to, want to buy in right away. But it's, I really like what you said, though, that, we need to ask ourselves questions first, as opposed to just going to someone saying, hey, do you do financial work? We need to know what we're really asking for in the first place.
Right. And to help people with that, on the Choosing a Financial Professional website, there's an interview guide, and you can download that. It's all free and print it out, and it suggests some different things that you might want to ask questions about. And even just looking over the interview guide, it'll probably make you think yourself, like, what's important to me? What am I really trying to find out information about? Maybe you're really, as we said earlier, thinking about retirement planning. But maybe you're younger and you're thinking about really, growing your investments in your portfolio, or you have other kinds of questions. So you want to make, just by going through this interview guide, it can help you think about what you're doing too and what's important to you.
Can extension agents be financial advisors, by the way?
No, we don't think of it that way.
That's what I figured, but I thought I'd ask.
Yeah. We do financial education, so we try to help people understand the different financial things, but we don't give any investment advice or anything of that nature, no. We do work with people, though, on, more money management things like what are your goals, how do you work towards saving goals, how do you work towards paying down debt. So we have those kinds of education, and we actually have a volunteer program called Money Mentors that can work with people individually on those types of financial goals.
Well, you have a really good point in here as well, and you have to be sure you're reading this properly. I mean, it specifically says never hesitate to ask how a financial professional will be paid. So it doesn't say never ask, it says never hesitate to ask, because that's an important thing to keep in mind.
Yes. Financial professionals, just like everybody else, has to make a living. We know that they're going to be paid, and they're paid in different ways. It's important to ask about that so you understand how they're getting paid. Some financial professionals are paid by the specific work you ask them to do, what you're asking, maybe by the hour. Others might be getting paid as well by commission. So depending on which products you buy, they may get a commission off of that. And some work on a combination of commission and fees. So I think it's just important that we know as individuals how people are getting paid and what might be, factoring into some of their decision making.
Well, that is real stuff, because that explains why when I was 20-something, I bought from, someone that I knew. I went into some universal life insurance thing, which, probably would have protected me. But at the same time, I think paid, was the best option for the seller, not necessarily for his customer. So he probably got a pretty good commission on it. But for me, was that really the best thing that I needed to be doing at that time?
So the words you're using are really key, because you can also ask somebody whether they have a fiduciary relationship with you. So some financial professionals will have a fiduciary relationship, and that means that they have to offer you the best option for you.
Oh.
So when you're looking at investments and things, they have to really put out what's best without thinking about any commissions. If all financial professionals that are talking about investments do need to offer suitable investments, but when somebody does not have a fiduciary relationship, they can give you things that are suitable, but still kind of keep into mind maybe what other commissions they might be making off of that.
Wow.
As long as you know what you're working with, I think it's okay. You just need to, but I do think that as consumers, we have a right to know.
Yeah.
And if somebody says to you, well, I can't tell you how number one, if somebody says to you, there is no cost, this is for free, that to me is a red flag.
Yeah.
And number two, people should be able to estimate their costs for you so that you have an idea what you're going into. So I think that is something sometimes people worry about. Well, I don't know how much it's going to cost, and I don't want to commit without knowing how much it costs. That's reasonable. You should know before you commit to, what you're going to be doing.
Yeah. Mine is a friend from church, but, you have to go beyond that as well and just say, well, we go to the same church. Hopefully that's a qualifier, but that shouldn't be the only one.
Yeah, I wouldn't suggest that being the only one. And that's why, again, interviewing different people I think is a good idea. Mm-hmm. And if you're going to be working with somebody where you're going to be making investments, decisions based on what they're offering you, I would also suggest that people check with FINRA's Broker Check. It's an online service. So it's FINRA, FINRA, Broker Check. And if you Google that, it'll pop up. And you can, by putting in somebody's name, double check that they're licensed to be selling investments, and you'll also see if they have any disciplinary actions taken against them. You can also call Illinois Securities Department and double check that they're licensed to sell in this state. That is a really good way to protect yourself from investment fraud.
Very good. Yeah, very good. Kathy Sweedler, Extension Educator in Consumer Economics, Champaign, Ford, Iroquois, and Vermilion. You can find the blog on the website from their unit. You can find that through U of I Extension's website. Kathy, thanks so much. Very good advice.
Thank you.
Kathy Sweedler joining us. Stay tuned. It's a Friday, RFD, Town and Country Partners.
RFD Radio Network's Jim Taylor connects rural routes for you. You can trust Jim every morning for your overnight markets. He gets up early to help keep farmers on top of their game. Here's a bit about his rural routes.
I have the opportunity to cover something different every day and provide listeners with up-to-date markets, news they need to do their job and be successful, from legislative issues to crop updates and weather, of course.
Be it routes or routes, RFD Radio, FarmWeekNow.com, and Farm Week keep you connected.
All Ag.
All Illinois.
All Now.
There are a lot of smartphone apps out there, but do they have what's important to us here in Illinois? The Farm Week Now app does, and it's always at your fingertips. All Ag, all Illinois, and 24/7 where and when you need it for free. Go to your app or Play Store on your smartphone, hit search, type in Farm Week Now, that's one word, and download it today. Brought to you by Illinois Farm Bureau, where we're all about farm, family, and food.
With another farm, family, or food-related place you, your family, and friends might enjoy here in Illinois. I'm Mike Orso with RFD Town and Country Partners. Where have all the great family-owned bakeries gone? Big box retailers and supermarkets have provided tough competition, but you can still find bakers operating bakeries in some communities throughout Illinois, and one, Iced, located in Shelbyville, has been around for less than a decade.
Our friends kept asking for me to bake stuff for them, and my husband got tired of all the leftovers.
Jody Allen owns and runs Iced, a bakery and eatery in Shelbyville, population 4,500 or so.
Our menu for our bakery goods change every day, so there's something new every day for them to come and try and check out.
For example, Allen says Iced has 30 different cheesecakes and 40 to 50 different kinds of cupcakes in its bakery rotation. And for something completely different,
a pina colada smoothie?
Yes, we just added that this year. It is my favorite.
No, that's not spiked, correct?
No.
Located in central Illinois, Shelbyville boasts the biggest man-made lake in the state. So there can be plenty to do if you need to work off all those iced baked goods and more, like the weekly specials on its food menu, too.
We have a normal menu of different panini salads, and we sell soup all year long. And then during the week, we'll do one special for the entire week, and it could be chicken and noodles, or it could be bacon wrapped meatloaf. We'll do fish tacos.
Jody Allen shares her biggest challenge operating a small-town bakery and eatery.
Probably trying to figure out how much food to fix for a day. That's probably the biggest, because you don't know if you're going to be really busy or if you're going to be a slower kind of day.
And if you're thinking of opening one,
Expect to work a lot. It's nothing that you think you can just come in and work a few hours a day and be able to go home. And, I work anywhere from 10 to 12 hours a day. So just expect to work hard and take pride in what you do.
Allen takes pride in offering the unusual, and in particular this summer, Iced will be offering edible cookie dough desserts. You can try some at the Bakery and Cafe in Shelbyville on Main Street, in between State Route 51 and Interstate 57 in central Illinois. For RFD Town and Country Partners, I'm Mike Orso.
Farm Week and FarmWeekNow.com journalist Dina Stroish connects rural routes for you. From the Farm Bill to crop insurance to GMO labeling, her expertise is apparent in the stories she reports. Here's a bit about her rural roots.
I get to meet interesting people and share their stories, and I get paid to do it. I cover ag policy and really enjoy keeping the farming community updated on these important issues.
Be it routes or roots, RFD Radio, FarmWeekNow.com, and Farm Week keep you connected.
Are you preparing for planting season? We don't mean to be a pest, but here's a few things you need to know before you grow. The Illinois Department of Agriculture now requires special local needs labels, including new restrictions for the use of herbicide dicamba on top of soybeans in Illinois for the 2019 growing season. Did you know these additional restrictions go beyond federally approved labels? Remember, the label is the law. To find out more about these Illinois-specific labels, visit ilfb.org/label-aware.
Jim Taylor back on the RFD Radio Network. Time for our weekly IHSA segment for Town and Country Partners. We visit today with the head baseball coach of the Wooden Shoes of Teutopolis High School down in Effingham County, Justin Fleener. What a year for him. Picked up his 500th career victory this season and then also won a state baseball title. Coach Fleener, you've had a pretty good year.
It has been a real good year. We've had a lot of enjoyment.
Well, and I know I look back at the 2019 season for you, and this is a team that lost its first 3 games of the season, but finished as state champs. So the old adage, right, it's not how you start the season, it's how you finish the season. What happened with Wooden Shoes baseball in 2019?
Well, we had a successful basketball team, and so a few of those guys were just coming. They made it to the super sectional down at Carbondale. So a lot of those basketball players were some of our top pitchers. Not all of them, but some of them were. So at the time, we decided to make sure we were going to let them work their way back into the rotation without getting any injury. So we went with some of the guys that is actually Trenton Schwert and Mitch Hemmond, but they couldn't throw full ball games. And we had some younger guys that came in and that got some valuable time in there, but the teams that we were playing at the time were pretty good, and our hitting was a little slow to start. So, but it's the beginning of the season. We're getting some kinks worked out, and the guys, we look for improvement as the year goes along, and we were fortunate enough to get that. And you're right, we didn't start out real quick, but we finished strong, and that's how we want to look at it.
Well, and I look at your program now as head coach. You've picked up 4 state titles since, I think, the 2010 season and multiple state tournament appearances for this Teutopolis program. What are the successful ingredients of your program?
Well, besides baseball-wise, we have, besides the talent baseball, there's the good work ethic from the kids, which comes from the community. You get a lot of parent support, a lot of administration support. So whenever you get those 3, we were able to mix in together with some talented basketball or baseball players that we had. The key in any a lot of our success, as any baseball coach is going to tell you, is going to be pitching, and we've been able to have a lot of good pitchers roll through these past few years. And even in my 19 years at the top list, there's been a lot of quality arms that we're able to run out there on the mound that's going to give us a shot in some ball games.
Well, and I look at you statistically this year, the IHSA information that was posted on their website. I think you have a roster, a state tournament roster of 18 or 19 kids, and I think 12 of those kids pitched this year for you. Man, that's pretty deep pitching down there.
Well, especially before even the pitch count went into effect, you never have enough pitching, and you might as well have all that can throw needs to be prepared to throw. So that's kind of our philosophy now, especially with the pitch count that goes into effect. At some point, at some time in the year, you're going to have somebody in there. So through early season workouts, we get guys on the mound and do mound workouts in the gym whenever we can't get outside. So we try to prepare all the arms we can. So yes, we had a lot of guys that were stepped in at times and threw maybe just 3 or 4 innings throughout the year, but they were able to help us out a little bit.
Well, I know it's old hat for you, but I think the great heritage of following IHSA athletics is some of the great nicknames. Old hat for you with the wooden shoe nickname, but I still say one of the neater nicknames, not only in Illinois, but really across the nation. Did the people still feel that way down in Effingham County about that great nickname?
Oh, they're proud of their wooden shoes. Yes, they are. Yes. And even when I first went up there, that's what I grew up close to there, going to school close to there, so I knew of the wooden shoe tradition. And then when I got up there and we were able to start having some success, one of the first teams that we went through up there, I was given an official pair of wooden shoes with all the players had signed. So it's a nice tradition, and they take a lot of pride in that.
Yeah, and I know you grew up in nearby Clay County, and you and your family are actively engaged in farming. Is that right? So a little bit about the family roots and the farming operation with the Fleener family.
Yes, I have 2 brothers and a sister. I grew up on a farm. We actually had pigs. My brothers and I raised pigs in a little 8-hut farrowing unit. We started that when we were young, and my dad had pigs and cows when we were younger. But my brothers and I started kind of a farm together. We bought some land when we all got out of school to kind of join with my dad in the farming process. And now 2 of us actually coach. My younger brother, Chris, is the head baseball coach at Effingham. So the farming gets put on our middle brother, Jared, who does a lot of the managing of the farm with my dad. And we farm, probably 350 to 400 acres, and that goes to show you I'm not even exact on the exact number of it because of when baseball's over, I'm just told to go get on a tractor and do whatever they need to have done to that field.
That's Teutopolis head baseball coach Justin Fleener joining us on the RFD Radio Network and Town and Country Partners.
Thank you, Jim. Hey, how about the wooden shoes? One of the great mascots, and there are many in Illinois High School. I'm DeLoss Yankee for RFD, Town and Country Partners. Have a great weekend.